Good afternoon, everyone. Follow up on the Sprint survey that I posted with regards to would you be in favor of zero-based budgeting for the state of Idaho? I personally would be a fan of that. I know that there are definitely some pitfalls, and I was hoping to expose a little bit of the controversy around bringing up that subject. In its purest form, zero-based budgeting would basically look like everybody starts with $0.00 and then tries to justify their existence. I feel like it's time for us as citizens to start treating our state government the way that the wife and I treated our kids. When they'd come to us and ask us when they were younger if they needed something, we need this, we need that. Our favorite thing to ask was, do you need it or do you want it? Because need is a really strong word. And so that became kind of a running joke in our house. Need is a strong word. I think we need to tell our legislatures the same thing. Everybody feels like their favorite department needs something. Is it a need or is it a want? We look at some of the things that we've done in our budget in past history, and in about 1976 through 1980, Idaho was going through a rough patch, and they actually did do zero-based budgeting. Everybody started with about a 25% budget and worked their way up from there, which I think would be acceptable. It definitely would give us a little bit more control over what's happening in our state budget. One can look this up as well. If you go to legislature.idaho.gov, there's a slot where they run through some of the breakdowns on how budgeting is done. As I scroll through it and look at it, I see that they start talking about Idaho's line item, incremental, program-based, modified zero-based performance budgeting. Brief read on that. As the section of the title implies, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, Idaho, like many states, has developed a budget process over the years that borrows aspects of several approaches in governmental budgeting. Skipping down a list from 1 to 5 to number 5, it says our process has elements of a zero-based approach through encouraging one-time expenditures and sunsetting of programs, zeroing those expenditures out of the budget base each year. End quote. I like the sounds of that. The difficulty is that we really haven't seen anything disappear from our state government, and much in the spirit of our national Doge and the Idaho Doge, Department of Governmental Efficiency, this is something we need to see. I think that it's not, maybe it's not as surprising to everyone as it was to me, but I actually went through and read through it a couple times now. I read the Idaho Republican Party platform. So, as I look at it, Article 1, Section 1 talks about responsibility in government, etc. I skipped down to Section 5, state legislature. Everybody can look this up as well. Section 5, state legislature, subsection B, quote, we support the current move to zero-based budgeting or other appropriate budgeting techniques, period, end quote. So there's the out. The parties give themselves the out on or other appropriate budgeting techniques, but zero-based budgeting is in there. So that way our friends of the Republican Party can say, well, we support zero-based budgeting. Do you really, though? Because this kind of starts looking like legalese to me as I'm looking on the split screen or other appropriate budgeting techniques. It's a pretty easy out to leave in there. I think that the Republican Party would be surprised at how much independent conservatives would appreciate a really thorough thrashing of our state budget. I postulate that much like the National Party, the Idaho Republican Party probably on the inside has those conversations about, well, we want to appeal to the moderate voter. Well, we want to appeal to the independent voter. And I would say that this sounds a little bit like the Karl Rove, George Will, defeatist, never really won Republicans anything attitude that we've seen in the past. I would say it's time for this to be over. Idaho, tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll try and give some more relevant and maybe controversial topics. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Tell me what you think. Let's go, Idaho.